got the soda. When people say no, all fast money, no slow bucks.
What is going on, everybody? Brandon here, aka Bravadis, and I'm here to be bringing you guys my first and only mock draft because I waited so long to do it. The NBA draft is this Thursday. Today's Tuesday. The draft is on Thursday. It's less than 2 days away. 2 days away. And before I start this mock draft, I just want to say that there's going to be trades on draft night. There will be trades. There's always trades. It's the NBA draft. Come on, guys. But for this mock draft, I'm not going to make any trades because there's so many rumors. You don't know what's going to happen for sure. So we're going to go picks number 1 through 20. No trades. Just leave picks as it is. But like I said, there will be trades, just not in this mock draft. First and foremost, we're going to start off with the number 1 pick, the Philadelphia 76ers. They're going to go Ben Simmons. He officially worked out for the 76ers for the first time, whether I think it was today or last night, and he posted a picture of himself in the Philadelphia 76ers uniform saying, trust the process. He posted a picture with Joel Embiid saying, with my boy, whatever. It's Philadelphia's taking him number 1. There were some questions about his attitude. There were some questions about his work ethic. His grades were not that good either. But at the end of the day, talent wins basketball games. And Ben Simmons, I don't want to go there with the LeBron James comparisons, but coming out of high school, he was being compared to King James. So Philly, the state they're in right now, you just can't pass up on a talent like Simmons, which leads us to the second pick, the Los Angeles Lakers. Honestly, this is the LA Lakers. They're sitting like this. They're kicked back. They were going to take either Simmons or Ingram, whichever one falls. Here they take Brandon Ingram. And honestly, they have Julius Randle at power forward. They have D'Angelo Russell at point guard. Ben Simmons is a power forward who likes to dominate the ball. He likes to play make. So he didn't really fit that well on the Lakers. So they'll be glad to take Brandon Ingram, who fits right in at small forward. He can grow with D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle and even Jordan Clarkson. So the Lakers, Brandon Ingram with the second pick, and they're ecstatic about that. Now here's where the draft starts. We knew for months, first and second picks, Simmons and Ingram. Here is where the 2016 NBA draft starts. Boston, in my opinion, are not keeping the pick. In my opinion, they're trading this pick. If they do keep the pick, I wouldn't be surprised if they go Buddy Hield. One of the most NBA-ready prospects in this draft. Definitely the most NBA-ready prospect up at the top. And they need shooting. Avery Bradley, their shooting guard, great defender. Great defender. They need shooting, though. Buddy Hield would be their pick if they keep it. Again, I don't think they keep this pick, so let me tell you what I think they do. I think they take Chris Dunn, and let me tell you why. No, they're not going to keep Chris Dunn and play him over Isaiah Thomas. No, they're not going to spend their number 3 pick on a backup point guard because Dunn doesn't want to play backup. He said he doesn't want to go to a team that has guards, a.k.a. Phoenix, a.k.a. Boston. Philadelphia 76ers, they're in love with Chris Dunn. Chicago Bulls, they're in love with Chris Dunn. The Milwaukee Bucks, they're over Michael Carter-Williams. They want a Chris Dunn. What Boston's going to do, in my opinion, they're going to take Chris Dunn. What did I say? Philly, Chicago, and Milwaukee. Jahlil Okafor, Jimmy Butler, and who knows, maybe Chris Middleton. So I think the Boston takes Dunn just to have leverage in a trade, and I think they trade it for either Okafor or Jimmy Butler later on in the offseason, or maybe even on draft night. So I do think their pick is Chris Dunn, but I don't think they keep it. I think they just take Dunn to hold leverage over the teams who are literally... Philadelphia has came out and said they're in love with Chris Dunn. So why wouldn't you take him when you have plans to trade him? Number 4, Phoenix. With Dragan Bender on the board, it makes sense to take him. But we're going to go with the biggest riser in this year's draft. Marquese Chriss. This dude, a couple weeks ago, was a mid-first round pick. Out of nowhere, this dude shot up to the top 5. As you know, I'm a Suns fan. Do I like this pick? Do I want him to go to the Suns? I'm not going to answer because... to be quite honest with you, every single prospect within this range, whether Dragan Bender, Jaylen Brown, Marquese Chriss, everyone has boom or bust potential. So no matter who the Suns take, there's a risk he's going to bust, and there's a risk that he's going to turn into a superstar. So I think here there were pictures taken of GM Ryan McDonough with Marquese Chriss out to dinner. I mean, he could shoot, he could run the floor. He's not that good of a rebounder or a defender, which draws comparison to Markieff Morris. But nonetheless, he has potential to be a Chris Bosh type of player. He could shoot. I think this is the Suns pick. Marquese Chriss, and Hopefully, as a Suns fan, hopefully it works out. We have 0 power forwards under contract for next year. 0. We need a power forward. At number 5, Minnesota. Let's see. They have Karl Anthony Towns. They have Andrew Wiggins. They have Zach LaVine. What do they need? They could go power forward with Bender still on the board, surprisingly. They could go shooter at Buddy Hield. Or they can go combo guard Jamal Murray, who John Calipari came out and said he is the best player in this draft. He might be a little biased because he coached him, but in one of his workouts, he hit 79 out of 100 three-pointers. I think deciding between a shooter and Hield or Murray, you can't go wrong with either, but I think ultimately Minnesota goes potential over what you know already in Hield, so I think they go Jamal Murray with this pick. Number 6, the New Orleans Pelicans, Buddy Hield. Buddy. He's a... Sure, he might be 22 years old. He's played all 4 years. But you act like 22 is 50. No, 22 is still young. I think he could go higher than this. But at the end of the day, New Orleans, they need shooting. They need offense. They have Anthony Davis. They got their big. I think Buddy Hield fits in nice with this. I could see him falling one more down to Denver. I could see that happening. And I could see New Orleans try to pair Bender with Anthony Davis. But for the sake of this mock draft, let's just go Buddy Hield to New Orleans. Number 7, the Denver Nuggets. When will the fall of Dragon Bender, who could be the 3rd overall pick in this draft, stop? Well, it stops right here. Let me tell you why. No, the Denver Nuggets don't have a need for power forward, but they don't have a need anywhere. Their roster is so nicely balanced that they could afford to take just the best player available and hope he works out. In this case, you'd be deciding between Dragon Bender or Jaylen Brown, and I think Dragon Bender has a little bit more potential. Sure, he has much more bust potential, but I think you could afford to take Bender and build around Bender and Mudiay. And Dragon Bender, who has not shown much overseas, no one really has that much film on him. No one has really studied his game that much. He averages 2 points a game. It's all about potential here. And me personally, I hope the Suns don't take him. But Denver at number 7, they'd be ecstatic for him to fall that far. Here we go to number 8, the Sacramento Kings. Again, I do think they try to trade this pick because with Rudy Gay, with DeMarcus Cousins, and potentially re-signing Rajon Rondo, I don't think they will. That's a different story for another day. I don't think they need another rookie, but Jaylen Brown falls into your lap. Again, another potential 3, 4, 5th pick falls to number 8. I think you got to take him. Rudy Gay is not getting any younger. They do need a point guard, but there's no point guards in this range that are worth taking. Jaylen Brown, who has... He's up there with Simmons and Ingram in terms of ceiling. Yes, he has very high bust potential, but you got to take him if he falls that far. So I'm going Sacramento Kings, number 8, Jaylen Brown. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes higher. Here's my first surprise pick of the draft. Number 9, Toronto Raptors, Sabonis from Gonzaga. And let me tell you why. From the 9th pick to the 15th pick, there's a ton of power forwards and center available. A ton of bigs available in this range, and the Raptors are ecstatic. You've got Lowry, you've got DeRozan, DeMar Carroll just signed. You have Valanciunas at center. What do you need? You need a power forward. They're a playoff team who got this lottery pick as a gift. So rather than taking, they're close to contending. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So why not take someone who in Sabonis has a little bit of a lower ceiling than a guy like Labissiere or a guy like Henry Ellenson, but you know he could come in and contribute right away. He's not as athletic, but he's strong. He could rebound, and he could shoot the 3. I think he fits in perfectly with Toronto. And in my first surprise, I think this just fits Toronto. They don't need to go for someone who's going to be really good in 3 or 4 years. No, they got a team to win now. So I think you add someone who could contribute right now. Sabonis, Toronto, that's my first surprise pick. At number 10, Milwaukee. Like Denver, their roster is balanced. You know, they've got Middleton, Parker, Antetokounmpo, Greg Monroe, Michael Carter-Williams. They don't really have a need, but they said they're going to play Giannis at point guard next year. Giannis at point guard, which would move Jabari down to small forward again, and that opens up a hole at power forward or center, whichever one they want to play Greg Monroe in. And I think they take Henry Ellenson. Henry Ellenson has stretch 4 potential. No, he's not the quickest. No, he's not the best defender, but he could shoot, and Milwaukee's floor spacing is terrible. Greg Monroe cannot shoot outside the paint. Antetokounmpo is not the best shooter. Michael Carter-Williams cannot shoot. Chris Middleton could shoot the ball. There you go. There's one. But why not add a stretch big? You could put next to Greg Monroe. Greg Monroe likes to play under the basket, so why not get a big who likes to play around the three-point line? Henry Ellenson to the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this pick, the Orlando Magic, like I said, a lot of teams are going to be trading their picks. I think the Orlando Magic could be looking to trade this pick. If not, Skal Labissiere. This dude, before the year started, was, oh, who's going to go number one, Ben Simmons or Skal? He had a disappointing season, a very, very disappointing season in college. But you can't deny the potential. The potential is there. He has the potential to be a rim protector, a post player, a shooter. For a big power forward center, that's what you need in today's NBA. I don't think he can fall much farther than this. Like I said, before the year started, this dude was a top 2, top 3 pick. Falling to number 11, I think the Orlando Magic take him and just hope he grows into someone they could pair next to Vucevic. At number 12, the Utah Jazz. They're stacked in the front court. Rudy Gobert, Derek Favors, Gordon Hayward. Those are your three. And they drafted Trey Lyles last year. There's no way they take a big. They're stacked in the front court. Now their back court with Rodney Hood, shooting guard. He was really good last year. So that comes down to point guard. Trey Burke, mixed emotions on him from the Utah side. Dante Exum, let's not forget about him. Is he a point guard or shooting guard? We don't know yet. So I think the Utah Jazz take the best point guard available right now. And there's some discussion between Wade Baldwin or Dejounte Murray. But I think Dejounte Murray, however the fuck you say his name. I think they take Wade Baldwin. He's more of a true point guard. Although he's a scorer, he's more of a true point guard than Murray is. I think they take him. At number 13, the Phoenix Suns. This is already their second pick in the lottery. The only team with 2 lottery picks. They got their big in Marquise Chris. Their backcourt is stacked. Eric Bledsoe, Devin Booker, Brandon Knight, Archie Goodwin, Bogdan Bogdanovic. Do I need to go on? They have 5 guards. Which is why, as much as I love Buddy Hield and as good as I think he's going to be, the Suns are not taking him. Everyone tweets to me every day saying, oh, the Suns could get Buddy Hield at number 4. Yeah, they could, but are they? No. You have Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Knight, and All-NBA rookie first-teamer Devin Booker on the team, and Archie Goodwin, who turned 21 years old. It makes no sense. Where they do have a need, they got their power forward. Who knows? Maybe you could look at small forward. PJ Tucker's 31 years old. TJ Warren, he's good, coming off a broken foot, so you don't know with that. Denzel Valentine out of Michigan State. What better player do you want to come off the bench and kind of, I don't want to say run your offense, but just like leading your second unit? I think the Suns, although Valentine might be a little bit of a reach at number 13 because he's kind of slotted to the 15 to 20 range. I mean, they got their guy at power forward at number 4, so I don't think you need to reach for a big right here. I think you go Valentine. This is if they keep the pick. This is their second lottery pick. They could trade it. Who knows? Number 14, the Chicago Bulls. Derrick Rose with 1 year left on his contract. I don't know. They've got their bigs. Mirotic, Gibson, Gasol and Noah hitting free agency. I don't think they re-signed, but Bobby Portis they took last year. I think they go point guard here. They could go small forward because Tony Snell is not looking that good. But they have Doug McDermott who could play forward or power forward. I think they go Dejounte Murray. He's a point guard, shooting guard. He can play both positions, which is kind of what catches the eye. I think the Bulls take him. Number 15, Denver. I think Denver really wanted Buddy Hield in the first round, but he got taken 1 pick before them in this mock, so they ended up with Dragan Bender. So I think they take Richardson out of Syracuse. Malachi Richardson. This might be a little bit of a reach at 15, but after his pre-draft workouts and his tournament play, he shot up the board. They couldn't get Hield, so I think you go with another guard here to pair next to Moutier. And Richardson could shoot. He can't Buddy Hield shoot, but he could shoot. At number 16, the Boston Celtics, Jakob Poeltl. This kid could be a top 10 pick. He could go number 9 or number 10. Boston, like I said, they could trade this pick. If not, you take him, who's the best player available. 17, Memphis, Deontay Davis. Zach Randolph is not getting any younger. Marc Gasol is not getting any younger. And who knows? If Mike Conley leaves them in free agency, they might be looking to trade Gasol for younger pieces. So I think you take power forward center Deontay Davis. Kind of get a young... The Grizzlies do not have any young prospects. So you get a young player to try to kind of groom behind Gasol and Randolph for a couple years and then let him take over. Here, the Detroit Pistons, if Denzel Valentine is here, that's their pick. He went to Michigan State. They have Stanley Johnson, who's a shooting guard, small forward. They have Andre Drummond, who's a center. They have Reggie Jackson at point guard. They just need one more wing to play next to Stanley Johnson. Valentine would be great here. But, like I said, I have the Phoenix Suns taking him. So I think they take Timothé Luau out of France. And this kid could shoot. He's a 3-and-D player. He could D up. He's kind of like a Stanley Johnson, but not that much potential. I don't think this is the best player on the board in their mind, but without Denzel Valentine available, I think you take Luau and groom him. He's a young player, so I think they'll take him. Number 19, the Denver Nuggets. They've already taken Malachi Richardson and Dragon Bender, so you can't really go wrong here, but why not take more of a for sure prospect? This kid is a senior out of Baylor, Taurean Prince. You can't really go wrong here. You're not going to expect him to come in and be an all-star, but Denver, they don't have too many holes, so why not get a player who can just come in and play right away? You know what he's going to give you every night. There's not too much risk here, so I think they take Prince. At number 20, Indiana Pacers, Malik Beasley. There's rumors that they might look to trade Monte Ellis. They have Miles Turner at power forward. They have Paul George, obviously small forward, and they could go center, but I think they take Malik Beasley. There's still a lot of prospects left, and this draft could end up being really deep. There's Thon Maker, Cheick Diallo, what's that dude's name overseas? I forgot his name. He's a shooter. There's a lot of players left that are still on the board, but for this mock draft, we're going to go top 20 picks. Let me know what your top 20, maybe even your lottery, your top 5. Let me know what you guys think down below. And I can't wait for the NBA draft. 2 more days, this Thursday. Let's go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, guys.